So is Trump sending us into a depression? That's the subject of today's video, and it's more crazy than even I thought. Take a look at this. This is Fox News just a few minutes ago.
According to an item in the Wall Street Journal today, President Trump was prepared for the new tariff policy to lead to a recession in the United States, but the concern started growing that there could be a depression. That is what he wanted to avoid. That is why they got ahead of any kind of a decline like that.
So that's what they're telling their viewers on Fox. We're talking about depression. And frankly, what's going on is, as I talked about in the last video, the reports from Washington Post, New York Times, basically we're talking about how the Trump team was disorganized. They were arguing with each other, and it was frankly chaos. They have to try to spin it positively on Fox News, but it's a pretty tough pill to swallow. We're now talking about possible depression. This is just minutes ago on Bloomberg. Now I guess we're clarifying that it's 145% tariffs on China. Actually, clarification again, at least 145% tariffs on China. Honestly, it's hard to talk about this stuff because it keeps changing. That's how much crazy chaos that there is. I know you're probably sitting at home like, what the heck is going on? I mean, just the last video, we were talking about 125%. That was been the talk, but now, yes, today it's 145%. This is what it says. It says, Trump's tariff rollout has been marked by confusion, right? As Trump has repeatedly shifted course. This is the new report. The president on Wednesday put off plans to impose higher levies on dozens of nations hours after they went into place, even as he escalated his trade fight with Beijing. The war is not over, the trade war that is with China. Again, 145% at least. And they're changing language on reporting because it's like, it's hard to say what their math is over there. Listen to Fox News a little bit more. It's interesting.
You can call it the art of the deal, of the tariff deal. The European Union's pulling plans to put retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods after President Trump's decision for a 90-day pause on tariffs for most nations.
One country not getting a break, China. President Trump raising tariffs on Chinese.
And you can hear how they talk. One country not getting a break, China. Who watches this stuff? Actually, I do, just to tell you what's going on, because essentially you have to watch it because they have the exclusive. So they were telling people 125%. Now we're updating it. It's 145. Markets are reacting negatively. We're reversing the gains from yesterday. That's what we're in. And check out my video yesterday if you want to see. We talked about the chaos inside the White House. Today we're talking about the fallout of that report. They had Hassett come on. Let's take a look at what he has to say here.
Before the president paused the tariffs, the Wall Street Journal says, and they talked to a couple of people who were close to the president's thinking.
See, and this is where the leaks were coming out. I was talking about the last video of like the chaos going inside. And so then Hassett's job is to come on TV and basically spin everything a lie. That's basically his job, and you'll see it here.
The president knew, and he talked about how, we're all going to feel some pain. You're going to feel some pain. He knew there was pain. He knew the tariffs could trigger a recession. His worry was that it would cause a depression. Did you know that the president was concerned with a depression?
That's what we're really talking about. You can see. So listen, now he's got to try to spin this positively because this is a really negative report.
I think that you have to think about what the scenarios were that we were playing out for the president. One scenario is that we come out with tariffs and non-tariff barriers that are at the level of our trading partners, and they don't respond. And in that scenario, it's going to be pretty bad for the global economy. But the good news is that we're making America great again with Trump policies.
So, like, you have to, so here you got to, like, kind of be honest. Okay, it could be really bad. But hey, we're making America great again, guys. Like that's the mode that we're in, and I just want you to see like how they're trying to spin this positively. I mean, if you just want long story short, Trump and his team are incompetent, and Trump is the face and the head of this thing, and they're all trying to figure out how to convince this guy because he is the president, right? So he does have power. So they're trying to convince the guy to like be more sane. It's like, but Trump hired a bunch of yes people, so it's actually, I mean, I'm not feeling good about it. I'll be honest with you. Let's just watch some more. You'll see.
but we're also rebuilding the global order because the other countries that are coming to the table are more or less going to be adopting Trump, anti-globalist policies as well.
Yeah, so
and it's going to be great for their workers, and it's going to be great for our workers as
Kevin,
well.
what about the deals? What we want to see deals. We want to see win after win after win. We want to see countries coming into the White House signing deals.
Right. So they need to send something positive to their audience, like, hey, tell us about winning. We want to hear how Trump wins all the time, because that's what they tell you on Fox, right? Let's listen to his answer here.
When will that happen? And which countries?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to name the countries yet. In fact, we have a meeting today with...
Did you hear that? That's key. She's like, which countries? And she's like, I'm not going to name them. Listen again.
After win after win. We want to see countries coming into the White House signing deals. When will that happen? And which countries?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to name the countries yet. In fact, we have a meeting today with all the top principals where we're going to present to the president.
See that? So we got nothing. We're talking about depression. There's confusion in the White House, and we got nothing. That's what's going on, and so then Fox has to basically spin it positively to their viewers. I'm just telling you guys what they're saying, and I mean, you can see it for yourself. I just want you to learn to spot this stuff.
A list of what we think his priorities might look like, and then I'm sure he's going to have his own ideas about where to move things. But I could tell you,
and then you can just see it right there. They're reporting it. So he's just like, hey, we got a list of priorities, and then he's like, and I'm sure he's going to like change things or whatever. So basically, Trump's out of control. So, I mean, and I know it's not that funny because we're talking about depression and stuff like that. But it's like, as I talked before, when you come on the channel, it's like, your eyes are crying, your mouth is laughing, because it's like you don't know how to react to this stuff. It's part, you yell at your computer screen, yell at the TV, like how are these imbeciles in charge? And then it's crying like, oh my God, these imbeciles are in charge, right? That's essentially what we're dealing with here. Let's watch some more.
That we've already got offers on the table for more than 15 countries. 15 countries.
Great.
Now, that doesn't mean there's a deal, but it means that you've heard the much larger number for people who call and they want to talk.
So they're claiming that they have offers on the table from 15 countries. We're not going to tell you which ones. We haven't had any deals. That's what they have to come to report, right? And so how do you spin this positively? And again, inside the White House, it's confusion.
But there are specific offers on the table, I've been informed from USTR, of about 15 countries right now. And so this is moving fast.
I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, and for all we know, the offers could be, we're just going to stand pat and not do anything. That's our offer. I mean, so I think I think it's not good. Let's see what more they have to say. And part of, when you watch these people, like, you got to call out their nonsense. Here's some more.
75 countries that have come to the table, or at least called the president.
Right. See, and they got to be careful on their language, because before the White House would be going, oh, well, we had 50 people or 50 countries, and then it was 60, then 70, and then they started talking about 75 countries. But like, and they're like, well, they just called. And I told you guys about this before, right? I mean, they could just call and say, hey, are you guys crazy? Or they could call and say, hey, we don't like you. Like, you don't know, or they could call just for clarification, which I think would probably be the natural call. Like even just today, it's now being reported 145% tariffs on China. When we were talking just yesterday, it was 125. So the 145 thing was new to me, because like it's hard to know what their math is over there, if they have any math. I think it's just random at this point. And I mean, like I said, it's like we're part laughing and crying at the same time. Let's see what more they have to say here.
But he said there are 15 countries that have actually turned in deals. He said, we're not sure. I'm not going to tell you which countries those are. And he said, I'm not sure if we're going to accept those deals. There might have to be some negotiations. But that's very promising. And you're absolutely. See,
and they have to spin that positively, right? Well, we don't have any deals. Maybe there's 15, there offers. But, that's promising, right? We're Fox News. We got to talk about winning.
Right. We're in a much better place today than we were a month ago.
That can't be understated.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we're in such a better place, guys. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, it's like, this is how they spin things. And it's like, it's crazy, right? And I don't know how many people are going to argue that. I mean, honestly, like an honest conversation, do you feel like we're better off than we were a month ago? I mean, can anyone really say that in a straight face? And that's why it's fascinating to watch this stuff.
Are you hearing anything, Peter? Any of your sources telling you which countries might have turned in these deals?
That was big news on Fox and Friends 20 minutes ago from Hassett, that there are 15 deals in theory. We don't know, other than the Japanese and the South Koreans and the EU are at the top of the list. And so They might not want to shake things up too much every day, but the next time, this is a president who is very, very good at...
So this is what I've heard, okay? So he mentioned EU, Japan, and Korea. So I'm hearing Korea, so our news is a bit different than your guys'. Basically, our news all the time is saying from the Korea's perspective is that they don't outright call Trump a liar because they're polite, but they basically say Trump is going back on the deals that they made in the past and like, what the heck are you talking about? That kind of stuff. So they don't outright say Trump's a liar, but in a roundabout way, yes, Trump's a liar. So that's the news over here. It's quite different in that, we're sending, trade representatives, etc. So they mentioned Japan, EU. My understanding was EU was talking about the tariffs. They're going to try to pause a retaliation, but we'll see. I mean, this stuff is fluid. And then my understanding is Vietnam might be talking, and then we talked about Israel was the first country in line. So I'm not sure. Maybe what they're doing is to get to the 15 number is taking the EU and adding up all the countries together or something like that. That's a very strong possibility. But it's hard to say what the truth really is on this stuff. But there's been no deals. And then I know also from the inside, they like to brag about. They were talking about Switzerland or whatever. But if you actually, read what Switzerland said, it wasn't as positive as you think it is. It was basically Switzerland called the president and they talked for 25 minutes and they just reminded them that, hey, we're trading partners. Why are you like attacking us, etc. But this is how they're spinning stuff. And I just wanted to share it with you guys. And I want to hear your thoughts as well. And this is ongoing. And I'll update you. We still have not heard yet the response from China. Now the news comes out that's 145%. So, I mean, where's China going to put out? And the last number that I heard was China put on the USA 84%. And then again, the US on China is 145% tariff. So there's probably a lot of more drama to continue on this thing. And at this point, I think we're now at a daily basis. It's going to be changing. So I do appreciate your time. I'll try to keep you updated, and I'll catch you all in the next video.